He called his wife just a housewife. Until she stopped living for him. The weight of regret. In the restless city of Lagos, the sun rose every morning the same way it always had, bright, loud, impatient, but inside Femi and Bisi's home, everything had changed, not loudly, not suddenly, just quietly. Permanently. Femi noticed it first in the silence. Bisi was still kind, still respectful, still took care of the children, but the warmth he once took for granted was gone. She no longer waited for him to come home before eating, she no longer asked him about his day, she no longer complained, and strangely, that silence frightened him more than her tears ever did, because tears meant she still expected something from him. Now she expected nothing. One evening Femi returned from work earlier than usual. The house was unusually quiet. He walked into the living room and saw Bisi sitting at the dining table with her laptop open, speaking confidently during an online meeting. Her voice was calm, professional, focused. He paused at the doorway. For a moment he saw the woman he had first fallen in love with, the ambitious, intelligent woman who once walked confidently through office hallways, the woman he had slowly pushed into the shadows. She ended the call and noticed him. "Oh, you're back," she said calmly. Just that, no excitement, no warmth, just acknowledgement. And somehow, that hurt. Their daughter, Tola, was only 7, but children notice things adults pretend not to see. One night she asked quietly, "Mommy, are you angry with Daddy?" Bisi froze. "No, my love." "Then why don't you laugh with him anymore?" Bisi didn't know how to answer, so she simply hugged her child tightly. Sometimes children understand pain without needing explanations. If you were in Bisi's shoes, what answers will you give your child? Please do not forget to comment, like, share and follow. Femi began to notice the small things. Bisi dressed better now, she smiled more when she spoke to clients on her laptop, she traveled to meetings, she made decisions without asking him, and for the first time in years, she looked like someone who didn't need permission to exist. That terrified him, because the truth he had avoided for years finally whispered inside his mind, "She might not need me anymore." That night Femi lay awake staring at the ceiling. Memories came back like ghosts. Bisi crying quietly, Bisi asking for help, Bisi begging him to understand, and every time he had dismissed her, now he understood something painful. The day a woman stops complaining is the day she stops hoping, and that day had already passed. One afternoon, Femi overheard Bisi on a call. "Yes, I'll be in Abuja next week for the conference," she said. "Conference, Abuja." His heart skipped. Later he asked carefully, "You're traveling?" "Yes," she replied calmly. "For how long?" 3 days. Something inside him twisted. For years she had barely left the house without informing him first. Now she was simply informing him, not asking. Do you think Femi has the right to feel the way he is feeling now? What's your thought? Please don't forget to like, share, comment and follow. The day Bisi left for Abuja, Femi stood at the doorway watching her pack. She moved efficiently, confidently, like someone who had rediscovered herself. When she picked up her suitcase, he spoke quietly, "Bisi." She looked up. "I'm proud of you," he said. She nodded politely, "Thank you," and walked out. He stood there long after the door closed, because the words he really wanted to say were heavier. "I'm sorry I almost destroyed you." Those 3 days felt strange. Femi had never handled the children alone before. He struggled with homework, burned the rice, forgot where school uniforms were kept. By the second day he was exhausted, and suddenly, he understood something that hit him like lightning. Bisi had done this every day, for years, without appreciation, without rest, without help. He sat at the dining table that night, staring at the quiet house. And for the first time, guilt crushed his chest. On the 3rd night, he sent Bisi a message, "I'm sorry." She replied hours later, "Thank you." Nothing more, no anger, no comfort, just acknowledgement, and somehow that felt heavier than rejection. Do you think Femi has finally experienced what Bisi went through all those times? And do you think Bisi did not return on purpose to teach him a lesson on what she sacrificed her career for? Please do not forget to comment, like, share, and follow. When Bisi returned from Abuja, she looked different, not physically, but in presence. Confidence surrounded her like quiet armor. The children ran to hug her. Femi stood behind them, unsure. Later that night he finally spoke. I know I hurt you. Bisi looked at him silently. I compared you to my mother. To other women. I ignored everything you sacrificed. His voice trembled. I didn't understand what I had until I almost lost it. For a long moment, the room was silent. Then Bisi spoke softly. You didn't almost lose it, Femi. His heart dropped. You did. She continued calmly. I forgave you. But forgiveness doesn't erase the years I disappeared. Her eyes held no hatred, just honesty. I am not the same woman anymore. He nodded slowly. I know. And I will never shrink myself again, she added. I wouldn't want you to, he whispered. For the first time, he meant it. Trust doesn't return overnight. Femi began helping with the children, cooking sometimes, listening more, talking less, not because Bisi demanded it, but because he finally understood partnership. Some nights they talked like strangers rediscovering each other. Some nights the silence remained, but slowly. Something fragile began to grow again, not the old marriage, something different, something more honest. What do you think? Should Bisi forgive him and let them start afresh? What's your thoughts? Let's discuss in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share and follow. One morning Bisi stood in front of the mirror adjusting her blazer before leaving for a meeting. Femi watched quietly. You look powerful, he said. She smiled slightly, not shy, not uncertain, just confident. Thank you. Then she walked out into the bright Lagos morning, a woman who once almost disappeared inside marriage, now walking forward with her identity intact. Femi learned something that many men learn too late. Respect is the oxygen of love. Without it, even the strongest marriage suffocates. And Bisi learned something equally powerful. Choosing yourself is not selfish. Sometimes, it is survival. What are your thoughts about this story? Please let's discuss in the comments. Please also visit our YouTube page for more interesting stories. Also, please like, share and follow.